I was left home alone until I wasn't. As of writing this, it was possibly, definitely the worst, most horrid experience that has ever happened. Let me set the scene. September 24th, 2016. It was cold out, so much so the windows had frosted up and I had minimal view of the outside. My parents went on a business trip a couple of hours earlier, so I had to stay a few nights on my own. I thought it would be no struggle as I'm 14 years old now, so that means I'm a big boy now. But could I have been more wrong? It was getting darker outside and my stomach grumbled harder. I had remembered the spaghetti bolognese recipe my mom had sent to me on my phone, so I thought to myself, why not? I stood myself up out of my bed a few minutes later once I had come to the determination to stop procrastinating. I grabbed my phone and put on a random YouTube video, then went downstairs. I was mediocre at best when it came to cooking, but I did have some experience. Once I had got all the ingredients, I put them down on the countertop. But then I heard something, a sort of tap on the living room window. I shook it off as I thought it was a branch of a tree. Then a knock at the door. I was kind of chilled at this point because whoever was knocking was guaranteed the person that was tapping at the window, and whoever that was had been keen to get in or talk to me. My mom always told me not to answer the door to strangers. But earlier that day, I had texted my mate about something as he left one of his belongings at mine the night before, so I thought it was him at the time. I trotted over to the door and peeped through the keyhole where a black shadow blocked it. I creaked open the door, but no one was there. A few hours passed by. I made my dinner and watched a few YouTube videos, trying to forget the weird occurrence that had just taken place. I tried to come up with a reasonable explanation as to what just happened, but couldn't ever agree with my mind. Likely due to how quiet my town had been known to be, and that nothing major ever happens here. I'm sitting on the couch at this point, bored out of my 14-year-old mind. My friend hadn't arrived yet, so I was getting more anxious about when he would come. My phone buzzed and I picked it up. One delivered message from Mom. I tapped on it, then read the following. "Get back in the house now, you know not to be out past this time." I was so confused as I hadn't left the house all day. A few seconds later, my mom sent a photo. A shadowy figure walking around my garden. At that point, my heart sank into my body. I struggled with anxiety, and the fact that an unknown figure was walking around my garden gave me the creeps. I watched a fair few horror movies in my time, and always wondered why the characters just never left the house once things started to get spooky. So I did that exact thing. I grabbed my phone and coat and dashed across the street, as there was no way I was staying in that hellhole any longer. Minutes later, I found myself calling the police, as I had no other option. They said that they would arrive at 10, so I had no other option as to wait it out sat on this curb. Until my bedroom curtains were pulled open and the shadowy figure appeared. His eyes were sunken and his mouth looked as if it was pulled forcefully across his jaw. I screamed, knowing a man was in my house all along. Thank goodness for those horror movies, because if I had never watched them, the ending could have been much more different. Like and subscribe.